This is how I build a teapot, pretty much from A to Z. Here I'm mixing two clay colors, slightly different. So there's a bit of wedging at the beginning to make the whole thing homogeneous. Wedging is also important to remove any air bubble that might be present in the clay. And it's time to throw. So on the wheel, I make all the parts that will constitute the teapots. I first make them separately and then they will dry a bit and then be assembled. So here I'm centering, which is the hardest part of throwing. It looks very easy, but that's because I have practice in. If it's centered well, everything else is easier. So I take my time and now I'm building the body of the pot. Cleaning out the inside, removing excess water, removing the slip from the outside, and remove it from the hump. Then I'll throw the lid. Again, I'm throwing everything off the hump. I like to do this because it just saves time rather than to have to center a bit of clay for every piece every time. I just isolate the chunk of clay I'll need for the piece on top of the hump and throw the part there. I roughly measure the size of the lid with the size of the pot opening. It looks fine. Next we have the spout. This is a little bit delicate because I need the spout to be very thin. A thick spout, number one, won't look really good, and number two, won't create a powerful flow. I need the pot to pour well, and one of the elements making a satisfying pour is a thin and sharp spout. Okay. At this stage, all the pieces are very, very soft, so I need to be careful not to smush them. Here I'm making the handle. There's a couple of ways to do that. I like to do it old school, just roll it and then slowly mold it into the desired shape.
First step is to stick that.
So this is a couple hours later, after it has the chance to dry up a little bit. We say when the clay is leather hard, it is good to trim. Notice I simply stick the piece on the wheel with water, just relying on suction, good enough. I don't bother putting chunks of clay to sterilize it. If your rim is clean and horizontal, this will be perfect. I like trimming. It's a satisfying part when you did your job right and then your piece is more or less equal and round. Trimming is really fun. So here I'm refining the piece, making it the right shape, but also making it thinner. So if starting with I had a thicker bottom, I'll trim more heavily the bottom until I have something that feels light.
Now let's stick it the other way.
Stick it the other way around. And then it's time to make that opening really sharp, really clean. When I dig in with the instruments, it's very important to have my hands very stable. Otherwise, if there's some inequalities in the clay, it's going to push my hands around, and me trimming it won't do anything. Here I was force drying a little bit the clay because the bottom was too wet, it wasn't sticking properly. So here again I'm keeping my hands very stable in order to correct any imperfection there is, any wobble that might still exist. Especially in that area where the lid will sit, it has to be perfect. Giving a first test to that lid. So I first flip it upside down to work on the lid fit. At this stage I want the lid to be still a little bit bigger than the body, because throughout the process it will shrink a tiny bit more than the body and end up with a little loose if I made it to fit perfectly at that stage.
Still too big.
Here there was a wobble, so I'm correcting it.
Okay. Let's do one little thing here.
Cleaning a little bit the inside. Oh, as you can see there, I trimmed too much. So one of the options I have is to make the opening smaller, because it's not totally dry yet, so that's what I managed to do here. And now I can flip the lid upside down and work on the top part, the knob and everything. Slowly removing the clay. If I try to dig in too much with my tool, I take the risk of destabilizing the whole thing. Piece comes off the wheel, have to recenter everything. So step by step, removing layers of clay by layers of clay. Finally getting to the desired shape.
Keep that now. But here I want to, maybe you can.
Here I'm making that lid a little bit thinner, because it felt a little bit heavy compared to the pot. So I'm removing a little layer on the bottom here, inside the lid. Once that looks fine, I will apply my signature on the bottom. So it's a stamp I've made for myself. And now it's time to play around and stick the spout to our pot. But first I need a filter. So the filter will sit at the base of the spout and prevent tea from coming out of the spout.
Yeah.
But also it will allow for the maximum water possible to flow out. So I want to make the holes as close as possible to each other without breaking that ball filter. And the reason for which I make it incurved like that, like a little ball, it's because I want to prevent clogging of leaves that would reduce the strength of the pour. This is just a little detail, but it adds up to make a quality final product. So this is quite a delicate task. I need to take my time. And when all the holes are punched, I'm gonna clean them with this little tool. And now that I've chosen the spout I want to use, because I always throw 1 or 2 or 3 for each pot so I can choose the style. Here it's a game of cutting it well so it marries the shape of the body. And then this is how I glue them together, using a little bit of slip, which is watered down clay. I use this little rake tool to soften both ends of the junction, so both the spout and both the body, and then I'll apply some slip to it, and that way I'm sure that it will stick properly. So it's essentially using glue. Then I'll refine the junction, add in some slip to make that smooth. All of this takes time. I'm cutting a lot here, but there's a lot of smoothing and sponging, and also with hard tools, because the devil really is in the details, and I want to prevent cracks.
Nice angle.
So this junction needs to be firmed out and cleaned out a lot. Here I'm applying a little angle on the spout, because why not? That's just aesthetic preference. Also, technically, the spout should be as high as the opening of the pot, because higher is unnecessary and lower would make it that the water would pour down from the spout even if you're not actually pouring. And then I finalize the shape of the handle that I want. When it looks good, same thing. Scratch both ends, apply some slip, take that handle. Throughout the process, I need to make sure that all the parts I'm working with, so here the body, the spout, the handle, are all more or less at the same stage of dryness. Otherwise, some will shrink more than others and it will potentially create cracks. So throughout the process, it's important to keep a little water spray bottle not far so you can wet some parts. I also use a dryer so I can speed dry some other parts if I need to. Here again, I'm making the junction strong. Cleaning, sponging. And here I'm adding a little detail, purely aesthetic, purely for fun. I like to put these little decorations on the handle. This one I put it on the bottom. I just think it balances the shape properly. Again, a lot of small details you need to pay attention to, and there you go. That's the general shape of the teapot.
How's that? Beautiful.